Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Savannah if you're new here. Today I wanted to make a video about books, all things books. I wanted to do a book tag. I've seen Larry, I've seen Sarah, and I've seen a couple other of my booktubers make this video, and so I wanted to make one too because I've read 40 books this year. My goal is 46, so I think I'm gonna pass that, but I thought it would be cool to make this video and just highlight some of the books that I've read this year. Let me clip this on. These are really ugly. I'll just hold it. Okay, so I am going to go through some questions that I see for a book tag. So the first question or tag is the best book you've read so far in 2025. The best book I've read in 2025 has to be Sunrise on the Reaping. This book is so good. I read The Hunger Games when I was in 7th grade. I was around like 12 or so when I first read it. So when I read it, the characters like Katniss and Gale and Peeta, they were like 16, 17. They were older than me. And I don't think I figured out that they were children. Like I knew they were children, but when you are a child and you're younger than them, I don't think it hits the same. And now I'm 26, so I would be out of the Reaping for 8 years now. There's twice as many children in this book, so you already know what's going to happen to them, and so it hurts so much more because you learn to love them, but you already know what's going to happen. So I think that made it harder to read this book because I knew their fate. I knew what was going to happen, and it hurt so much more. So it was painful to fall in love with these characters, only to know that we all know how it ends. We all know how you win. And then to bring characters we start understanding, it brings a lot of things together. I thought it was very smart. It shows the evil heart that President Snow has. Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, he's developing his hardened heart. This book, it's been developed. He cares about no one, and it is so evident in this book. I think it is the best book she's written in this whole world. It's pretty painful, but it's beautiful in a way that you can see all of the characters and how good people exist, and they eventually win. I could talk about this book. I could do a whole video about this book. All of that to say, this is a really great book. It's the best book I've read so far in 2025, so that's good. That was the best book. Now we're going to the worst book. This is by far the worst book I've read all year. It put me in a reading slump. It's the One Upon a Broken Heart series. It is actually technically the worst book I've read was Curse for True Love, but the Once Upon a Broken Heart series was by far the worst trilogy I've read in a long time. The problem with me is I don't know how to DNF. My mom is so good at DNFing books. She has a rule that if it doesn't get her by page 37, she's putting it down. It doesn't matter. I can't do that. I have to kind of figure it out. And this book was okay, but it wasn't great. So I went to the second one, and by that time I had already read the second one, so I had to finish the third one. So A Curse for True Love was the worst book I have read all year, and I'm really disheartened by that because one of my favorite YouTubers, Haley Pham, she loves this trilogy. I hated every moment of it. I hated all of it. I want to be nice because Stephanie Garber, the author, she put a lot of time and effort into this series, and I hate to just be like, oh, I didn't like it, but I really didn't. One thing that frustrated me to no end, and if you don't want to hear it's not really a spoiler, but it's context to the book, so if you don't want to listen to it, then I'll put the timestamp for when we've moved on. The very end, this is all about Jax and his person, what's her name? Evangeline. Evangeline asks Jax, why do you always eat apples? He's in another trilogy called the Caraval series. That was okay. I kind of liked it because it gave storybook circus vibes. This book is all about Jax. He eats apples in like 5 books. The very last chapter in this series, he is finally asked, why do you eat apples? And he did not answer. He literally was like, we have more important things to talk about, don't we? No. If that is a part of your character, I should know why it's a part of your character. What made me mad and frustrated was the fact that that was a part of his character, and then you point out that that's a part of his character only to not answer it. What is the point of even having it as the character's a point in the character's story? What is the point of even pointing it out? Just let it be a plot hole. Basically, it's telling me you don't know why. and you're just going to point it out and just say that you did. That's so frustrating to me. I think with books, I do really well when you answer every single question we have. If there's no point in it, then don't put it in the book. That's just what I have to say. The best sequel that I've read this year is Onyx Storm. I technically don't know if this is a sequel. It's a part of the series. It's the third one in the series. I thought this was great for world building. I've heard some things where people thought it was boring, but I didn't. I thought it was really good in the way of understanding there's dragons in this, understanding the dragon. I really enjoy books when we get to understand politics, other worlds that have happened. It created new questions. One thing that I really like about Rebecca is she answers questions. It might not be in this book because she left me with questions that are not answered yet, but I trust her to answer them in the future. So this is a really good book, and it's really easy to get into if you're wondering if you want to get into fantasy. This one's a really good one to get into, and it has dragons. That's really cool. It makes me want to read Aragon. I think that's on my list. A new release this year that I haven't read that I want to read is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. This is the book that she has just recently released. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I will soon. And it's on Reese's Book Club. That's Reese Witherspoon. She did a great job. That's a great business outline that she does. That's really cool. Yeah, so Great Big Beautiful Life. I do know it is about two writers that go and kind of meet with this icon, this legend who's 80 years old. Her name is Margaret Ives. So they go and try to basically be the writer. They're in a competition to be the writer to write her story. So I think it's giving, like, when I first initially looked at it, like The Last Great American Dynasty vibes by Taylor Swift, that kind of song. But I haven't read it yet, but I really am excited to read this. So, and I've read a lot of her books. I've read Beach Read, Happy Place, People We Meet on Vacation, and then Funny Story. Those are the 4 I've read, so I'm about to add this one. And then I know I have Book Lovers. Oh, I have a couple that from Emily Henry that I need to read. The 6 kind of have the same vibe in covers, so I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, so those have the same kind of covers. And then she's written a couple other ones. One thing that I like to do is I like to read all of an author's works. I want to read all of the books that she's read if I really like them. How do booktubers do this? This is a lot of talking. Biggest surprise of the year, I think, would be Rebecca Yarros's different books. So I read Variation by her, and I am currently reading The Things We Leave Unfinished. This book is technically my surprise book of the year. I really like this so far. I'm a little over 50% through, so my thoughts could change by the end of this video, but hopefully not. One thing that surprises me about it is the cover. I do not like it. I judge a book by its cover. I strongly dislike books that look like they have stickers on them when it's not really a sticker, but I can't take it off. That is one reason I don't like it. I also do not like the cover in general. She could have done a lot of different things. Compared to this one, very beautiful. This one looks like a stock photo. I'm not a fan of it, if I must say. I think she can do a lot better. I do judge a book by its cover. If you don't put time and effort into making the outside look like art, then what makes you think I think this will be good? Because this is a lot of time and effort to give you. This book is about a great-granddaughter named Georgia Stanton and her great-grandmother, Scarlett Stanton. It's about how she falls in love in World War II and all of that stuff. And it talks about Georgia, who is going through some life things right now. And her great-grandma, Scarlett, has just passed away. And so she's trying to figure out how to publish the very last book that Scarlett was working on. I really like Scarlett, her World War II background. I think everybody in that time period was so courageous. I mean, living in that time alone, I can't imagine what was going on and stuff like that. So it was cool to read all about it. I'm still reading it, but I am very surprised about it. It's a lot different than Onyx Storm, not unlike there's dragons and stuff, but the characters are really different. I really like the characters that she has in these books. The book that made me cry, Kingdom of Ash. This thing is huge. Huge book. This is the 8th book. The 8th book in the Throne of Glass series. There's so many characters that you meet within the 7 books before. All of it ends in this book, all of it. I reread this year because the first time I read it so fast that I missed a lot of the details that I didn't know I was supposed to be looking for. But now that I read it a second time, I knew what I was looking for, and it was so cool. It was so cool to reread it and to know what was happening before I was supposed to know, kind of, because I got it in a different context. I cried a lot with this book just because Sarah J. Maas does such a good job. She does a phenomenal job giving every character complexities that you understand why they do the things that they do. Some things you agree with, some things you don't. I listened to these all in audiobooks. These books are not short, okay? This was like 20 something hours that I listened to and from work because I have an hour drive work there and back. So that took me a couple of days to get through. The ending is always so great to have the ending and to finish all of the characters that you love so much. So this is a really good book. I cried just because I put so much time and effort into reading it that when it was finished, I was sad. A book that made me happy was Funny Story by Emily Henry. I read this book in one sitting. I think we came back from, I'm from Nashville, and so I currently live in Florida right now. So I think we came back after visiting family and things. We were just tired and resting, and I finished this book in a day. The premise is 2 people are in relationships. They break up with their person, and then somehow the breakup people get together. And then also the main character, she's a librarian, and I thought it was so cute that she was in the library all the time. She was doing all these cool things. My mom took me and my little brothers to the library all the time, and she goes to the library all the time. But that's where I read Harry Potter. I got all of them with my library card. I have a library card. I use Libby all the time. It just kind of reminded me of nostalgic vibes. So the library, doing all that fun stuff. Most beautiful book I've bought this year. I think a lot of us would agree that the Lila Sage books are the most beautiful. All of these are so pretty. I think I just love all of the colors, the different colors, the blue and the purple. I really like the Boston Lassoed one. I like the reds and the greens. I think they go well together. All of these are beautiful. They kind of remind me of the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver. I think a lot of people would say that, just kind of same things, different fonts. So a book I need to read this year is Abby Jimenez. I've heard good things about her. Hold on, time out. There's a sticker on here, but at least I can get it off this time. Okay, that came off. But then again, there's another sticker that I can't take off. Why do they do that? It's Good Morning America Book Club. I'd rather have Reese's Book Club. I wish they wouldn't do this at all. That's really not great. Anyways, I want to read this one. I think she might be a good palate cleanser. I know that my cousin Brienne Rubery, I know that she has read her and she really likes her. I think this is her palate cleanser. Another book that has been recommended to me is 1 Second After. It's a John Matherson novel. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so I might read that soon. 1 Second After has been recommended by my dad Ryan. He said he's talked about that book a lot, so I think that is one of his, I don't know if it's a 5-star read for him, but he really likes it. So I'm gonna read that soon. So that is it. Thank you guys for watching all the way through to the end of the video. I really like making this. I've read a lot of books and I always watch booktubers, and I decided to just make a video because I'm keeping up with them. And I work a full-time job. I mean, I'm literally wearing what I wore to work. After that, I came home from work, watched a video, ate a snack, and then made this video. So if they can do it, I can do it. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys later. Bye.